using various resources in reporting written assignments and other topics in issues in international business. Okay, we start our lecture for this topic with a question: why writing is important? So this question will help you understand in detail what is this topic about. Okay, I need students in a high level institutions will be usually required to write a variety of assignments, dissertations, paper, and essay throughout the whole period of their studies. This writing task and assignment will cover a myriad of goals, objectives, and purpose. Sometimes these assignments can be written just by displaying and sharing personal experience or previous acquired knowledge. However, most of the times this is not effective research for academic writing. But other times, Excel will require extra efforts and additional research and use of external resource. Additional research, you have to search more information about the given topics. External source, it means that you have to find extra reference or material for your assignments other than your personal experience and previous acquired knowledge. Okay, if you use personal experience and previous acquired knowledge, they are not enough. So you have to do extra research or searching on given topic from the textbooks, article journals, Wikipedia, academic blogs, annual reports, court case, and many other resources from any of the given resource that I mentioned. Too much information until you confuse which one is important to your topic and how to write in the most effective way until you copy and paste all the information in one assignment. Using internet is so much easy to get all the information on the given topics compared to get the information from physical books in the library. A bundle of information on your topic must be processed, okay, and must be processed through an analytic way before you can derive a good quality assignments. Irrespective of the actual assignments, understanding what is a good writing and what are the proper techniques to use will lead you to be able to produce well-crafted essay in shorter time. So it's important for you to understand the effective way to write the assignments and know your lecturer's expectations on the assignments. Good writing is also an important skill that translates into any career field. Nearly all professions require some form of writing in all business fields. For example, emails, letters, reports, or any written communications for clients, co-workers, suppliers, and other contacts. Moving to academic writing, before we go to detail what is academic writing, so we have to understand the definitions of academic writing. So here in this slide, academic writing refer to the process of writing analytically. It means that you have to breaking down of the ideas with the purpose of presenting information that despite a clear understanding of a certain subject. Okay, in the academic writing, it's comprised of the process of presenting ideas in rational, organized, systematic, reasonable, and logic way. Moving to idea process. In idea process consists of several phases. It must be reasonable. Idea process must be rational, logical way, organized, and systematic. When conducting research, it is easy to go to one resource, which is Wikipedia. Many students use Wikipedia. However, you need to include a variety resource in your research. Consider the following source. When I interview, okay, who can I interview to get more information on the topics? Is the topics current and it will be relevant to my audience? What articles, blog, and magazine may have something related to my topics? And you have to ask yourself again about, is there any YouTube video on the topic? If so, what is about? So what image can be found related to your selected topics? You can select a combination of these resources or select more than one resource to show that you are do a deep research on the selected topics. Moving to things to consider in academic writings. So what is required for your assignments or academic writing in specifically? Okay, you may need definitions, recent example for selected topics. Personal view also can add it into the assignments, and why this topic is interesting and how you can debate from the literatures. You have to add arguments on the side, on the other side, or argument on one side. Once you find your source, you will want to evaluate your source using the following questions. Okay, the authors. Start with the authors. Who is the authors? And why should I believe what he or she said on the topics? So is the author since an expert on the topics? And how do you know? Contents. Contents. How contents in the information is in the source, and when was the source published? Is the information is outdated? Normally in the academic research or academic writing, we need and we have to use 5 years recent reference. And accuracy, for accuracy, you have to check with this question, is the content is accurate? You have to check, your content is accurate to answer that assignment. Is the information present objectively? Do they share the pros and cons? Moving on the type of academic writing. Here we start with the descriptions. It tells how something looks, feel, smell, taste, and sounds. A good description is a word picture. The readers can imagine the object. Narrative. Narrative is about to give an account or to tell the story of something, someone, or an event. Use time order to organize sentence, or sometimes we call chronology or narrative. Arguments. Arguments type of academic writing is to include readers to believe in writer's opinions or view through appealing reasons. That is the way to convince your reader. Now that you have narrowed your topic, you will want to organize your research in a structure that works. There are some common organizational patterns based on the kind of research you are doing. Organizational structure of your academic writing or your research, it can be cause and effects. Cause and effect, that is a kind of structure, is a great explaining the cause and effect of the topics. Or you can have compare and contrast. In this pattern, you can highlight the similarities and the difference of the topics. Or you can use explain process. That is a structure is a great for outlining a series of the steps to follow. And then you can select definitions if you want to make sure your audience understand what something is, using illustrations, meaning clarifying misconceptions. You may want to use this structure, that is definition structure. Classifications is a common organization structure. It's grouping like a topic or fact from a research together. For instance, in the internet safety about social media apps, you may organize the research when you look at each social media apps at one a time. Research or assignments. Once you know the scope and the subject of the task, it's time to start research. So now you are confused where to start, okay? For the presentations, okay, now I would like to move a little bit about presentations. The next step in your research is about presentations. You have to state your claim or topic clearly. Help your audience or lecturer understand your topics. That is your hard words. So please show and present in interesting way with the facts to your audience. Facts do not have to be boring. You can communicate facts in a variety of ways by going to insert tabs. In the insert tabs, you can insert picture from the computer or online. You can add chart. You can create some smart art. You can insert variety of icons to help your facts come to the life. Note that you can change the color of the icon by selecting the icon, then click the Format tab and Graphic Fill. From there, you will choose a color from the list, choosing more color to give more meaningful on icon in your slide. Since this research presentation is a result of your hard work and searching, you want to make sure that you support the claims or points in your presentation with the facts from your research finding. So you help your audience understand what your research or assignments when you present it to them. Okay, moving to a list of credible sources where academic writing is used. Here in this slideshow, a book review is one of the credible sources where academic writing is used. You also can refer to research report, research proposal, scientific paper or academic journal, dissertation and thesis. These are written to obtain an advanced degree at college or university. Or abstract. This is a short summary of long documents. Abstract usually in article journal is a short version of academic. After consulting a variety resource, you will need to narrow your topic. For example, a topic of internet safety is huge, but you could narrow that topic to include internet safety in regard to social media apps that teenagers are using heavily. A topic like that is more specific and it will be relevant to your peer. Some questions to think about to help you narrow your topic. First, First question is, what topics of research interest me the most? Okay, what topics of the research interest me the most? What topic of research will interest my audience the most? What topics will audience find more engaging, shocking, and inspiring? Moving to credible resource. Credible resource is a view by expert in the field and cite the resource it, in turn, used to generate and support its arguments. Example of credible resource is academic journal. Cite an appropriate reference, and they have a reviewer, and that is a good resource for academic writing. Wikipedia, that is credible resource. Many of you use Wikipedia for your assignments. So Wikipedia, for example, is not a credible resource, even if a given article may be completely and verifiable true, but there is no academic authority present to validate its truth. But it can be used as a starting point for undergraduate study. We move to characteristics of academic writing. Here we have 5 characteristics of academic writing. First, academic writing must have a planning. Second, have outline. Third, point of view. Fourth, approach language. And then last, a formal tone in academic writing. Planning. There is a certain amount of planning before you start your academic writing or writing the paper that is about analytic and organized. You can start your academic writing with a brainstorming, even for individual tasks. You can start with asking many questions and a variety of questions about the topic and answering them by your own. Okay, another way you can use free writing on a plain paper or plain documents. At the end, you can rearrange your idea and grouping in the proper organized way. And breaking down the topic into level, you can have subheadings about your topic, and then you can add your informations under your topic headings. Or breaking, clustering, mapping, or webbing, you can use mind maps or webbing to generate idea about your topic, and etc. Okay, now next we have outline. A proper outline is a must for academic writing, help you formulate your thoughts, make you aware of a certain relationship between topics. It will help you determine the pertinent information to be included in your paper. Basically, a research paper outline have 3 main components, that is introductions, body, and conclusions. For introductions, what you should have here is thesis statement and the purpose of research paper. And a body at least 3 points and a strong arguments for every point. And then conclusion is about summary of the arguments in the selected topics. Okay, now that is a detail about outline of the academic writing. You have introductions about your topic, definitions and objective of your topics, and then you break out your idea into 3 main points. Point number 1, you support with 3 detailed arguments. argument number 1, argument number 2, and argument number 3. Similar for idea number 2 or point number 2, you also support with 3 detailed arguments. Argument number 1 for idea number 2, argument number 2 for idea number 2, and argument number 3 for idea number 2. And similar for idea or point number 3, you have a supporting idea. First supporting idea for point number 3, second supporting ideas or details for point number 3, and also third supporting idea or explanations about the point number 3. You also can have example to help you to describe or supporting your idea. And the conclusion, that is a summary about your academic writing. You also can do it by rephrasing your introductions. Okay, we're still on outline for structure of the paragraph. Okay, for let's say this is a point number 1, you have to start your paragraph with a present a topic sentence that identify the main claims or claims that you will provide in the paragraph. Okay, the topic sentence should present the claims or claim that you will support and develop in the rest of the paragraph, and then follow with the present the first supporting facts and explain how the facts help provide the claims or claims in the topic sentence. After a topic sentence, you should present first specific facts that support the claims or claims that appear in the topic sentence. And second, explain how each fact logically support the claims or claims. Okay, after that, present the second supporting facts and explain how the facts help prove the claims and claim in the topic sentence. And then present the third supporting facts and explain how the facts help prove the claims and claims in the topic sentence. Be careful, okay? Be careful not to present facts that do not support the idea in the topic sentence. And be careful not to present additional claims that they are not relevant to the idea in the topic sentence. Topic sentence here in yellow color, and then you close your paragraph after providing the claims and claims in the topic sentence. Present a transitional sentence that lead reader to the main idea in the next paragraph. And with transitional, okay, end your paragraph with transitional sentence that show how the main idea in this paragraph is logically related with the main idea in the next body paragraph. So you have signal that this idea connecting to another paragraph. You help your reader to understand what you are trying to explain to them. Conclusions, outline for conclusions. Conclusions state the readers that you are winding up and preparing to finish off your paper. So in the conclusions, it is advised to rephrase the thesis statement along with the main ideas of your papers. Characteristic of academic writing continue. Another characteristic for academic writing is tone. You have to use formal tone. You do not use slang, word jargons, abbreviations, or many clicks. Language in your paper needs to be clear, and words need to be chosen for their precisions. A treasurers is a good tool to help you to pick just right words, and it helps you to explain the issues. Point of view. The point of view in the third person as the focus of academic writing is to educate on the facts, not support and opinions. We continue on characteristic of academic writing. approach for academic writing normally is deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is a big part of academic writing as your readers have to follow the path that brought you to your conclusions. Deductive reasoning and analytical approach are important in academic writing. Much planning and follow-through are needed to have a well-organized paper. Plagiarism is considered unethical in academic. When it's considered students do plagiarism is when it's above than accepted percentage set by university. Okay, 20%, more than 20%, more than 30%, similarity is considered as a plagiarism. Plagiarism is when you cut and paste from the original resource and you put in your assignments and submit as your work. That is considered plagiarism. Okay, now we are in citations and reference, another important part in academic writing. A citation simply means clearly giving a credit where the credit is due and tell the readers where the information comes from. In your paper, you cite or refer to the other source of information. Reference give the reader detail about the resource so they can understand what kind of source it is to judge the credibility among other things, and how to find the source themselves if necessary. The references are typically listed at the end of the writing. You have one section at the end of your writing before appendix. They call reference. That is important part in academic writing. Moving on, analyzing the task requirements. When approaching an assignment, it is important to clearly understand exactly what is expected of you. Otherwise, you may spend a great of time and efforts but not fulfill the lecturer's requirements. This lecture will guide you through the process you need to consider for writing assignments. First, the type of assignments required, the instruction words in the task, the overall topic and its components, the interpretations of keywords and phrases, the scope of the task, and a summing up. Okay, in preparing in assignments in the university, you have to make sure that you convey the meaning with absolute clarity in a way that will be understood by any reader, regardless whether or not English is their first language. Next, we have advantage of clarity. Clarity offers several advantages. In this slide, we have 4 advantages of clarity. Clarity implies emphasizing on a specific goal or objective at a time rather than trying to move away from the track. Clarity also helps to understand the message easily. Another advantage of clarity is complete clarity of thoughts and ideas enhance the meaning of message. And at last, clarity comes with the use of exact, appropriate, and concrete words. How to write clearly. At university, it is important that your readers, in particular your makers, can easily understand your meaning and follow your line of reasoning. So what you can do is explain terminology and jargons, define abbreviations, use simple words where possible, Use active voice where possible and check for ambiguity. How to write clearly? You can write clearly by explaining terminology and jargons. Explain any concepts or terminology you think may not be familiar to your reader or which they may not necessarily know you know. This is particularly important when your understanding of an idea or words might differ from your readers, such as when a common word has specialized meaning in a particular discipline. For example, from a management report, the employees suffer from the lack of motivations, so you give the meaning of motivations to help your audience understand the meaning of motivation from your context. So in this context, motivation is the willingness to exert high level of efforts to reach organizational goals, conditions by the efforts to satisfying some individual needs. These definitions, according to Robin, Bregman, Stick, and Kotler, 2000. So don't leave your readers wondering what you are thinking about. How to write clearly? Another way to write clearly is by define abbreviations. Acronyms, that is initial letter of a places or title and pronounced as a word. Example here we have TAFE, T-A-F-E, and initialism when the first letter of each word are spelled out. Example ECG should always be defined at the first use. When the term is the first use, write in a full and then followed by the abbreviations in a round brackets. Example, the World Health Organization, write in bracket, WHO is affiliated with United Nations, UN. The UN provides funds with help. WHO performs its role effectively. The following types of abbreviations do not need to be explained at the first use. Not all abbreviations have to explain it in the first use. For example, titles such as DR. DR refer to doctors. Address elements such as ST. ST refer to street or TS Tasmania. When you see this TS, you know already this one refer to Tasmania. Another thing is about Latin abbreviations such as EM and PM refer to morning and afternoon, or abbreviations such as SMEs is for small and medium enterprise, or EGs refer for example, or IE refer for that is. There is another way to write clearly is by using simple words where it's possible. That is important to use precise vocabulary and correct terminology in your academic writing. But there is no need to use big words for their own sake. The text filled with long, obscure, or overly formed words take longer for reader to decode and can sound pompous or stilted. Okay, example, the manager is deficient in interpersonal skill and invests minimal time in assisting the clerks to develop their expertise. Use this sentence instead of the above. It helps your audience to understand your point easily. The manager lacks interpersonal skill and spend little time helping the clerks develop their skill. How to write clearly? Another way to write clearly is by using active voice where it's possible. Generally, the active voice in which subject carries out the actions. is lighter than the passive voice in which subject is affected by the actions. Example, compare the following example. For passive sentence or passive voice, coral reef can be damaged by rapid and substantial climatic change. Active voice, rapid and substantial climate change can damage coral reef. Okay, you compare between passive and active sentence. Although the difference is small between passive and active sentence or voice, the variation in emphasis changes the perspective of the sentence. In the passive constructions, the focus is on the reef, while in the active versions, climatic change are the focus. You need to keep in mind when choosing between active and passive voices. Another way to write clearly is checking for ambiguity. Sometimes we inadvertently write sentences that can be interpreted in more than one way. Example, look at this excerpt from an essay of Fourth Crusade. The Crusaders planned to sail to Jerusalem via Egypt. However, during sojourns in Venice, the Byzantine Empire persuaded them to turn their attention to Constantinople. So you read back this sentence, it creates ambiguity. So the question here is, what is the Crusades sojourning in the Venice or Byzantine Empire? So this sentence creates ambiguity. So avoid this kind of sentence. Moving to brainstorming and mind mapping for comprehensiveness. Brainstorming is a way of generating ideas and organizing your thinking on the topic. If you are feeling anxious about an assignment or lacking in inspirations, brainstorming sets your mind in motion and help you find concrete ideas. If you feel that you have too many ideas and are not sure which one to pursue, brainstorming can help you to narrow them down. Brainstorming also help you to place your ideas into a useful order and consider the relationship between them so that you can start planning your assignments. How to brainstorming? How to brainstorm? You can asking questions. Asking questions about your assignment is a useful way of breaking down the topic into its basic elements so that you can better understand it. Some of the questions that is useful for brainstorm is asking the question like, what happened? Who was involved on your topic? When it take place? When it take place? Where it take place? Why did it happen? And how did it happen? So by answering all these questions, it helps you to brainstorm the idea about your selected topic and generate the idea or grow the idea about your selected topic. Another way to brainstorm is free writing. Free writing is about liberating your thoughts and allowing them to flow into pages. So you can set a minimum time or space limit. For example, you can set 5 minutes or 3 pages to ensure that you can produce a useful number of ideas. You just write whatever you want in within 5 minutes or within 3 pages. If you are writing at a solid pace, continue for as long as you wish. If you are struggling to establish a flow of your works, you can take a short break and then try it again. Don't worry about the quality of what you are writing. The objective of a free writing is to generate idea, not to produce a polished piece of writing. So turn off your inner critics and just write whatever comes to your minds. When you have finished writing, read the text and highlight the potentially useful points that you have made, and you will then be able to think about the further information that you will need in order to write your assignments. Another way to brainstorm is mind mapping. Mind mapping is a visual representation of your ideas consisting of words, image, and color. It allows you to construct an overview of the topics so that you can see its complexity more clearly and identify relationship between different aspects of the topic and link between the point that you have in your selected topic. Editing and proofreading your assignments before you submit in the system. Refining your own work is an essential skill and an excellent way to continually improve your writing. Checklists you can use to review your work before submissions. You can have an editing checklist and proofreading checklist. By having this checklist, it helps you to have a good quality assignments of academic writing. For structure aspect, you have to check introductions, whether you state clearly about the topic and how it will cover. You check your paragraph, have a clear topic sentence, and present information in logical order. And you also have conclusions, sum up the main point and has a takeaway message. Topic coverage, you check about all aspects of the question are answered. All key terms and concepts are defined. Every point in the topic you have rubric is fully addressed. And then analysis and arguments. Analysis present and evaluation is not just the descriptions. You evaluate, you describe, you evaluate, you explain more about your analysis. Argument is supported by sufficient evidence and a range of resources. Okay, check whether the quoting and pricing are applied to your scientific context and their significance is clearly discussed. Paraphrase contents retain the same meaning as the original. Even though you have done several rephrase, but you not change the meaning of that sentence. The point is still there and you still deliver the same meanings to your audience or reader. For proofreading, you check for the formatting must be consistent of heading level, diagram and table, margins and indentations, footnotes and block quote if properly used. Referencing and citations, make sure all the quotes and preface are cited. All sources are in the reference link. Once you cite in the text, make sure that citation also listed in reference part. All reference details are complete, properly have information in the reference detail. All text citation and reference lists entires are in the required style. If lecturer asks for APA style, then you have to use APA style. They have many reference style that you can use, but it's based on what is requested by lecturer or journal article. Language use, sentence they are complete and separate by appropriate punctuations. Spelling is accurate and consistent. In Australia, or English, American or UK English, you have to use consistent for the whole of your write-up. Academic tone used strictly formal. It must be objective, impersonal, concise, and precise. For personal checklist, add your own items to check off this checklist based on the feedback you have received in the past. So if you check all these things, do editing and proofread, and then you can submit a good quality assignments. Okay, you can start now writing a good quality assignments by delivering an idea with excellent clarity, comprehensiveness, and organization in reporting the task delegations. Okay, I believe you can do it. That's all from me for this topic. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.